Hey, JobTread pros. This video is a continuation of some previous videos I've made related to using JobTread as a full functioning CRM. And as any good CRM, you got to have reports. And what I've done here is using different actions that are happening within JobTread, whether it be a customer being updated or a document being updated. It's going through some Zaps, and then from there, dropping that information into different tabs that I have on the spreadsheet. And then from there, I've got kind of three summary sheets that are aggregating and either counting or averaging or summing the data so that I can look at. So this report is, I'd say, like 95% automated. I have a couple tabs here where I have to input my cash balances, and I'll have to input when we do a job autopsy after it's completed, kind of where we stand. But other than that, all the information is coming from JobTread into my tabs. So I got several tabs just kind of going through here. And I guess the point to make is, it doesn't really matter what kind of metrics you're looking for, if they're the same or different than mine. It's the point I'm trying to make here is you can still totally use JobTread to create reporting and metrics that are valuable to help you run your business. So back on track here. Okay, the red tabs are the kind of the data warehouse tabs I'm using. So I'm tracking raw leads, first appointments, second appointments, and PDAs. Those are out of order currently, but that doesn't really matter for purposes of this. So those are kind of our lead flow process. And then from there, I'm tracking, are they making a deposit towards construction? So our PDA is split up in two payments. The first one being just retaining us for design. And then when they make the second payment, we've shown them the pricing. They have the basis of what the design is going to be. And typically what we see when they pay that second payment, our rates go much higher, our close rates, to actually proceeding to construction. So it's a nice stopping point for the people who aren't really serious and just looking for a kind of a design concept. ATAs are change orders. So I'm tracking if they're signing change orders and remodeling agreements. Also tracking cash collected. And one of my metrics, I'm tracking revenue per employee. And I got this review tab, but I think I'm going to get rid of that. I don't think I'm actually going to use that one. But the way I'm getting this data into my Google Sheets is through Zapier, of course. And just as an example, and I'll pull this, let me get this other first appointment up as well. So raw leads, I'm tracking just a couple, few columns here: dates, year, this estimate, which if you're not tracking your home value, I'd highly advocate that if that's important to you, and the project type, source, etc. So first appointment, kind of similar stuff, a little bit less things, but ultimately what I'm trying to do is just create a place to warehouse my information. And yeah, so the Zap that I'm using primarily for the lead side is a customer updated. So in JobTread for me, I've created a custom field labeled lead status. And when that changes, it'll go through and run the path and actually drop the, so if they're in first appointment, it'll drop them on this marketing lead report, and they'll also do some stuff with the constant contact. And same thing for second appointment, and similar for raw lead. It's up a little bit different, but the concept is basically the same. For the documents, so when customers are signing or approving remodeling agreements or paying invoices, stuff like that. So the way I've set that up is when a document is updated, and let's see, for example, it's like this contract signed. So is that the right one? All right, so what I'm saying here is if the document name contains remodeling agreements, that's my name that the document is in my system, and it's approved, it'll go through here, do all these actions, whatever it needs to do, and then it'll drop it on this report. So then I can track. Let me go back here, so I'll show you how that looks. So if the contract is signed, so far we've signed in this new entity 3 agreements, and so it'll drop them in here. And I've also added this column over here, so it's actually calculating the days to contract. So from when they sign a PDA to when they actually sign an agreement. So what we're looking at is I really like to be like 90 days. But if you look at my average, not really hitting that, a little above that. So that's a metric that is on my executive scorecard here. So we're on average. Let's see what average looks like. Yeah, well, I guess that is an average formula. So, yep, 144 days on average. So, well above my what I would prefer it to be. But get back to where I was at. So these paths are basically indicating or dictating, what should happen. So when a PDA is signed, it's basically we call it a retainer, and I'm looking for once again, the document name is retainer, cash collected. This is the document type a customer invoice, and is it approved? So those are the way, and it's also how you can use the data next status. If you haven't been playing around with that, it's very powerful. But overall, not to get too deep into like my metrics or how they're how I these are things that are important to me. So other things may be important to you, but just to go through kind of my metrics and how I set them up. So this is our main dashboard, kind of so to speak. And I don't remember the company I was reading about, but they use these kind of terms, evergreen and North Star. So I just adopted them too. Evergreen being kind of similar to, it's like an evergreen tree. It's green all year round. And so these are metrics that we're going to track all year. And we want to track top line revenue, cash collected, et cetera. North Star are typically leading metrics as opposed to lagging metrics. But you can see here, I got two kind of more or less lagging metrics. So, but these kind of be whatever you want and how you want to guide your business. So right now we're really focused on our raw leads and our close rates. So that's what we're really interested in about. And below that, it's just kind of we're tracking different things around sales and our cash balances and how much we're having to transfer in and out of profit depending on how we finish on projects. I've got another report set up really specific to leads and information around the leads. So the Zillow information, this is where this comes into play. So I would expect this to be like 700-ish, but we're just shy of a million, which is pretty interesting information to have for us. But I'm also looking how many first appointments do we have and all the way down the list and what we've closed, what our close rates are. And you can see our close rates. So once again, being a newer entity, because we've recently consolidated, so kind of all this is new data, right? This is like super low. This should be like 70 or 80%. This should be like 90%. So it's not 100% right now because there's a lot of projects still in design. So with any metric or any kind of reporting you're looking at, right, you got to kind of read it and make your own assumption. You got to read the tea leaves or whatever to understand why they are the way they are. The the one report I'm really excited about, and I really can't use it yet because it's tracking a year to year change. So it's a rolling 12-month concept. So I can track year to date, I can track quarter to date from previous quarters, and I can track month to month per 12 months. So this, for example, will tell us, every January, for example, let's just say leads drop. Okay, is that normal? Is that is that okay? So what this will really help us understand is on a kind of more micro level, are we healthy from all the components that we're trying to understand? But once again, like the metrics that I'm tracking and looking at maybe different or what you want as your business. But the moral of the story here is you can totally use JobTread as a CRM. And I've been on all the CRMs, been on Pipedrive, HubSpot, several others I can't remember the names of, and they're all great. Nothing bad to say about any of them. But the one thing I found with all of them is they have robust reporting for the most part, but I could never really fully utilize it because either I just couldn't figure out it's too complicated, it wasn't tracking the exact metrics that were interested in me, or just too much data, just too many things happening. So what I would really advocate for anyone is when you're trying to set up your dashboards and different metrics, just keep it as simple and clean as possible. But hope this is helpful, and talk to you guys later. Bye.